Well, welcome to finally another episode of Out and About with Trev. I'm in beautiful Nash Creek campground in Bunyip State Park, and I got here yesterday, and yeah, quite a nice little drive in. And people that have watched the channel may have noticed that the video's been removed. I've had a few people send me emails asking me what's going on. In that, I detailed some of the problems I'd had with the house I'd moved into, and even though I didn't name names, I'll go into details. I've been asked by the court to remove the video, even though they haven't seen it. It's just, anyway, so it's been removed because, well, I was asked to. Anyway, swings and roundabouts, I'm back on the streets, and I'm trying to organise to get all my gear out of the house. I'm hopefully doing that next week. It's difficult because I can't bring any mates around to help me move it, so I've got to move all my stuff in one day. I'm not allowed to have any help. Maybe I can have some help at the storage unit, which I'm about to secure, maybe that would help with being able to unload the trailer quicker. So if anyone's available on the 20th of July in the Dandenong area, shoot me a message. I could do with some help at the storage, unloading the trailer. I don't know how I'm going to get all my gear. I mean, it took me 6 days to move in, and I'm expecting to move out in 1 day. I was asked how long it would take, and I said it would take 1 day if I had a heap of people with me. And so they've latched onto the 1 day and said, oh, well, you can do it in 1 day. And then it's, oh, no, you can't bring anyone with you. And it's like, hang on a second, that's not what I was agreeing to. But anyway, so we'll see how it goes next week. You may have caught a glimpse as I moved around. I've got a new addition to the Suby. Nice rooftop tent. Had that about a week. After I got kicked out of the Keysborough house, I was staying at a mate's place for a couple of nights, and I stayed at another mate's place for a few weeks, actually, a couple of weeks. And that was cool because I could sit there and use the internet, and I could plan things and research stuff, and it was all going well until last Wednesday when I'd worked. I had a big day. I had a couple of meetings. I'd had a couple of things going on, and I worked late. I had to. People will know that may know that I've been filming the lower divisions of the AFL. I did that last year, and I've been doing that again this year. Well, they sent me an email about doing a netball game. So that was on Wednesday night. I only mention it because it seems to be the catalyst for something else that happened. Was I got home and I told me mate, I said, look, I've got to work over in Oakley at 7 o'clock, and I'm not going to be finished there till probably 8:30 by the time I pack up. And by the time I drive in, all the trains were not working out that way last week, so I had to drive into a train line that was still functional, park the car, and then come into the city. I didn't get to his place till about 10 o'clock, and I think that pissed him off that I got back so late. Because the next morning he said, oh, you can move out. And I thought it was a really low act from a guy that not only is he a good friend, I would have said he was my best mate. We've known each other for about a decade. We met when we were both on the streets before, when I was in my van and he was knocking around from rooming house to rooming house. And I think he might have forgotten how tough the streets can be, but anyway, he threw me under the bus, and there we go. So I had to make some decisions quick, and I bought a rooftop tent. I'd done some trips recently. I'd been out to Lock Valley, camped next to the car with me bushwalking tent, my WE Second Arrow. That's an expensive tent. That cost me $800. To replace it now is nearly $1,200, so I don't want to have to buy another one. So I didn't want to keep using that, especially if I'm going to be doing this for the next few months. Or who knows how long. So I wanted to come up with another option. I'd actually considered a swag or just another tent. And I started looking at the rooftop tents, and I like the idea. You're up off the deck. If you've got stones and stuff, you don't have to worry about them. I like that it packs away nice on the car, and I sort of like that functionality as well. So, if it's wet, you can just pack it up, and you don't have to get all wet while you're packing it up. It's So yeah, when he kicked me out last Thursday, I had to quickly come up with some answers. These things were on sale for $650. I didn't have $650. I used Afterpay, so I only paid $162, and then we've got 3 more $162s, and then I'll own the thing. But yeah, it's tricky. Initially, after getting kicked out of the Keysborough house, I was like, oh shit, what's going to happen? And then I suddenly realised maybe this was an opportunity. I've been planning on hiking the Australian Alps walking track, which is a monster track from Walhalla in East Gippsland all the way up to Thara, which is up at the southern end of the ACT. And I thought maybe this is an opportunity for me to spend the next 12 months doing it a bit rough, maybe get a bit fitter, expose the elements and what have you. It's not the way I wanted to prepare for this hike, but maybe it's the way to do it. And the rooftop tent's part of that. So this is going to be me for the next 12, 18 months, I would say. Unless there's anybody out there that wants to help out with a house or help me out with a room or something. If you've got a room and a garage for some tools and maybe somewhere for my trailer to go, look, send me a message. I would much prefer to be in a house, but it's really, really hard. The waiting lists for public and social housing are through the roof. You'd be on a list for decades, and some people might wonder, hang on a sec, when I first come to Melbourne I was in my van, and if I'd gone on the waiting list then, wouldn't I be so far up the list now? Well, the simple fact of the matter is no. And it's probably worth clarifying, because if you're on that waiting list and then you go into private rental, which is what I was in for 9.5 years, I would have got tumbled off that list. So I haven't wasted anything. And a few people I think might not have understood that, because that's the reality. So maybe now, if I sign up now, I could be waiting decades to get something. The private rental market is insane. Look, they're turning away families, so single guy, I've got no hope. It's just not going to happen. And so if there's anybody out there that's got a room and a place for me for some tools and the trailer, and I'd love to have somewhere to park the Suby, shoot me a message. People that know me know that I'm not a violent guy, I'm not abusive, they know I'm a pretty laid back character, so what's happened is a little bit incongruous, and there's always 3 sides to a story, and I haven't even been able to put my side of the story, so that's a little frustrating, and I've just been thrown under the bus. And ultimately I'm going to fight what's going on in the courts, and I hope to in the end be I should win that, and but you win all the battles and you lose the war. It's a little bit frustrating, but anyway, like I said, this is what I'm going to be in, and I'll feature some of my trips. I've been to some cool spots already. I've been to Kirthkill Regional Park. I've been up to Lerderderg Park. I think that's how you say it. Here's how you spell it if I didn't say it right, and my apologies. And that's up near back of Smash. And like I say, I'm here at Nash Creek right now. Next week I hope to get all my stuff out of storage and out of the house into storage. And then hopefully next month I'm going to do a reconnaissance trip for the latter half of the AAWT, and check out some food drop locations. I really want to go to the start and do some video, go to the end, do some video, and I'll wrap that up into a nice package, and I'll launch a crowdfunding campaign later in the year, because I'm going to need some help to be able to afford to do this thing. It's an important thing. It's not just another hike. It's the culmination of 30 years of bushwalking has been leading to this, and it's a personal thing, and I'm going to have a serious crack at it, and I'm just going to need a little bit of help. And I've done a lot of the heavy lifting. I've got all my gear, equipment, new tent, new sleeping bags, things like that. I worked on the vehicle, got it running, so it can get me to the spots to drop the food drops and things like that. So I'm just going to need a little bit of help to get over the line and get me to the start, and then I'll take it from there. But this is not the launch. That'll be later in the year, but that's sort of what the reality is. But we'll see how this goes. It's not too bad. The mattress could be thicker in the rooftop tent, I've got to be honest, and I'll probably replace that in the near future. I'm also going to have to organise some solar panels. I've got a fridge freezer which runs in freezer mode, and I hope to put that in the Suby somehow and have some solar panels, so later when it warms up I'll be able to have refrigeration when I'm out and about. So there's all sorts of options. I might even put the rooftop tent on my trailer and have like a camper trailer. All sorts of options, and I hope to feature most of it on Out and About with Trev. I really appreciate everybody that comes past and has a look. Thanks to the new subscribers, and yeah, for the moment that's a wrap, and well, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers guys.